This is my exchange, my substitute, my atonement. This hen shall go to its death, but I shall go to a good, long life and to peace. The superstitious sin transferring ritual can be practiced by using money and donating it to charity, or using live animals, which are typically mass-produced domesticated baby chickens who are only about a month old. Neither the Torah nor the Talmud, the two most holy Jewish texts, mandate or even mention Kaporos, and it isn't part of Jewish law to practice this. Most Jewish people aren't even aware this tradition exists. The chickens typically get held up and swung around as their wings are pinned back or held up, the most painful ways they could ever be held. This all too often leads to injuries. For those who practice Kaporos with chickens, roosters are supposed to be used for males and hens are supposed to be used for females.
Is there rest of people here?
One chicken is used per human, not just for adults and children, but even for babies and unborn babies. If a woman is pregnant and unaware of the sex of her baby, then a hen and a rooster are both used and killed.
What are you videoing, bro? What are you videoing? The sign?
Yeah.
Yo, get a fucking life, man.
Get a fucking life.
This what you do all day, bro?
This is my life.
What do you do? What do you do, bro?
What do I do? What are you
trying
doing?
to do? I'm working here, bro.
Yeah, and I'm working too.
What are you working as? A fucking photographer, cameraing people?
Yeah.
You think that's a normal thing to do, bro?
You think this is a normal thing to do?
Not at all, but that's a law, bro.
What's a law?
It's just a Jewish law.
It's a Jewish law?
Yeah,
it's not,
you got some shit that you guys do, and we got some shit that we do,
Kaporos is not mandated in Jewish law.
It is, man.
It's not even mentioned in the Torah or the Talmud.
Okay, don't tell me the Torah. I'm Jewish and you're not, alright?
I am Jewish.
You're not Jewish for shit, bro. Look at what you're doing, bro. Look at what you're doing.
You're gonna tell me I'm not Jewish? You're gonna tell me this is mandated in Jewish law?
Tell me you're Jewish.
You're gonna tell me this is
videoing people's faces.
You're gonna tell me this is mandated in Jewish law?
I don't care if it's mandated. Don't go to people's faces.
You don't even know what you're talking
shit,
about.
If you were really Jewish, but you wouldn't be videoing this shit.
You think every Jewish person agrees with this?
Not at all, but does every person agree with anything in this world?
Not everyone agrees with torturing animals for no reason. Do you really believe that sins are going? Do you really believe that sins are going into these? Do you really believe that sins are going into these chickens?
I don't know, man.
You don't know. Oh, you think this is about views? You think everyone wants to watch stuff like this?
What are you doing this for?
What are we doing
What
this
do you
for?
want to show this
It's the
to?
right
They're-
thing to do.
What do you want to show this to?
Simply because it's
People who don't know this goes on.
Oh, so you just want to, you're
You
Jewish,
guys
but you
keep
want
this
to
a
do
secret.
this,
I
right?
didn't say I'm Jewish.
It doesn't
Okay, so
matter.
he's Jewish,
It doesn't.
right?
I'm not a practicing Jew, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. Everyone can have an opinion about what's going on, and just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you should be okay with every single thing
I
every
don't
Jewish
think it's
person
right
does.
to go to someone and video their face, bro.
But this
You're
is
in a
okay.
public space.
Not at all. I never said it was, bro.
Then
Did
why
I
are
say
you
it was
enabling
okay?
it?
Why am I enabling
Yeah.
it? Because it's a rule, bro.
How's
This
it a
what-
rule?
This is what the people gotta do, bro.
You're just
You don't
going. You're
have
just
to
gonna.
do it.
Okay, so you don't gotta do a lot of
You can
shit in
use
your life,
money.
bro.
Right? Is
Get
that
out of
correct?
here, bro. Fuck out of
You
here.
can use money instead.
Why
You
can't?
disagree?
Why can't?
This is what's called a mitzvah. You know what a mitzvah is?
Yes.
A mitzvah means a good deed. How is this a good deed?
You might think it's not a good deed. I think a lot of your shit's not good either.
Well, he's getting it, so we're all good.
Stop. If what you guys are doing is a mitzvah, if it's a good deed, why do you care about people filming it? If it's a good deed, why are you trying to? If it's a good deed, why are you trying to block it? I thought it was a good deed. I thought it was a good deed.
Why are you scared of the chickens
I'm
then?
not scared of the chickens. I'm here to stand up for them in the little bit of ways that I can.
You eat chicken for supper?
No, I haven't
are you
eaten.
kidding?
I haven't eaten the flesh of a dead bird in over 10 years. Hello. I lied to the cops and said that we were blocking the walkway.
Well, we got it all in video, so we can.
You want to keep doing this in front of the cops?
Yeah.
You want to do this while the cops are here?
He's allowed to record and he's allowed to do this, so whatever.
I'm not allowed to obstruct my walkway. Not allowed to obstruct my walkway.
Alright guys, alright. He's allowed to record. You're allowed to do that too. But don't follow him doing
You
anything.
guys can do whatever you want.
The same thing where he's following the other people who's standing it and doing the.
Excuse me, sir. What are you blocking me from right now?
Why are you filming me? Guys. Why are you filming me? Why are you
I'm
filming
not
me? I'm
filming you at
standing.
all.
Just don't punch their face.
You hear that? Don't put it in my face.
Get out of here.
Man, may I ask you?
I need my space.
I'm not in your space.
Get out of here. I want to talk to God, not to you.
You can transfer your sins into me instead. Why don't you transfer your sins into me instead? I volunteer. If anyone wants to transfer your sins into me instead of a chicken, I volunteer. And it won't cost you any money. The chickens cost $10. I'm free. So who wants to transfer their sins into me instead? And I can be responsible for everything you did in the last year. I'm volunteering. The chickens are not volunteering. So who's going to take me up on my offer? Come on. Who's going to do it? Who's going to swing me around? Who's going to...
You're ready to be swinged.
Come on, I'm ready to absorb your sins. I don't care what you did this year, I'm ready to absorb them.
Give me your number. I want to swing you around.
You don't need my number, I'm right here. You don't need to contact me, I'm right here.
I gotta bring you people.
Come on, I'm volunteering. The chickens are not volunteering.
I want to swing you around.
The chickens are screaming and crying. I'm volunteering.
Give me your number.
You don't need my number, I'm right here. Do it right now. Do it right now. I'm giving you the opportunity. You never get this opportunity. I've never seen another human volunteer to stand in place of a chicken. I'm giving you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Why won't one of you do it?
Why are you against having kids?
Because one, there's no desire or consent to come into existence. Two, it's a very unsafe and dangerous world. It's a very nonsensical world. Look at what's going on right here. and there's already a lot of existing life and needs, such as the 425,000 kids in the foster care system in the United States.
You would wish your father wouldn't have you?
Yeah, I wish my mother and father wouldn't have had me. Yeah, a lot of people wish that.
So why are you still here?
Well, because now that I'm here, I have an active interest in living my life for some time, but I still wish I was never born. Huh?
You don't want to see.
It's a public street.
You can take a picture from this, but not from his face.
I can take a picture of whatever I want. This is a public street.
My face is not public.
It's a public street.
My face is but you can't make a picture.
It's a public street. It's a public street. Just like you guys think you're entitled to do whatever you want to these.
I don't want you should make.
Yeah, you think these chickens? You think these chickens want to be held by you and swung around and killed?
You don't think so? I like to kill it.
You like to kill the chickens?
Have an issue?
Why do you like to kill the chickens?
Do you have an issue?
Yeah, I have an issue. All these noises I have to deal with. What are you going to do with that video? Share, you're going to say, hey, we found some people who care about justice and animals? Because I know it's pretty rare, right? To find people who actually give a shit about anything than themselves?
Sanitized, anything nice, no sun on them, everything goes by the book here, so I have no idea.
Nothing, you guys aren't doing anything wrong here, right?
Not at all.
Not breaking any laws, public health laws, animal cruelty laws.
Nope.
You're breaking zero laws, right?
Zero.
You know, if you guys want to keep doing this ritual, if you just use money instead, we would never come over here because we're not going to have a problem with you swinging money. Money doesn't have feelings. Money doesn't care. Plus your money would be going to charity. This is nothing.
If you can use money, why wouldn't you? That would go to charity, right?
You don't need, because
I don't need them like no other human needs them.
Most 90% of the population, they want them and they eat them. They
Just
eat
because
cows,
they want them doesn't mean they need them, though.
That's your agenda. That's just only a 10% or maybe a 5%.
Why would you kill other beings if you don't have to?
It's not human being. It's animals.
Humans are animals.
Created. Oh, humans are animals. Why don't you crawl on your floor?
Do all animals crawl on the floor?
Most of them, yeah. Most of them.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, so you really believe these, your sins could go into a chicken?
100%.
100%. How do you explain that? Can they go into any animal?
We have it in generations and generations and generations, okay? So that's what I learned from my father, my grandfather, great-grandfather. That's
Who says they're right, though?
You know what's right and what's wrong, right?
We know that killing other beings is wrong for your own sins.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? How are you? How are you? Good people. You're a bunch of good people. Just a bunch of people doing good deeds. Just a bunch of people doing good deeds. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. No one else in New York is doing something so nice right now. This is the best thing going on in all of New York City right now.
You are below, I am above. Why am I above? Because I have transcended logic, I'm up to belief. You're not there yet. You want to do that?
What do I have to do to be on your same level?
To accept and to take away, to have your sins forgiven.
So, but what would make me accept it? Just faith?
Yes.
Just faith? Is that why you accept it? Because of faith? Because of just faith. You
understand it.
So you believe it just because of faith. Because of faith.
I told you I'll even do it together with you.
Do you feel like you're a good person?
No.
No? So that's why you keep transferring your sins into chickens?
Yes.
And then now you feel like you're cleansed of your sins?
My day dance.
So what do these chickens do to deserve this? Do you believe something just because some people wrote it on a piece of paper? Do you believe in it too? Do you believe in this as well?
Please don't harass my daughter.
I'm not harassing her.
You are harassing her.
I was just simply asking her.
Please do not harass my daughter.
Question.
I will have you arrested.
Go ahead, call the cops. Call the cops. Go ahead, call the cops. Call the cops right now. I'm trying to help your daughter. I'm trying to inspire your daughter. I'm trying to.
She's a minor.
I'm trying to inspire your minor daughter to think with her own head.
Please do not harass.
I'm trying to inspire your daughter to question what you're teaching her. I'm not. I'm trying to inspire. It's all positive what I'm saying.
This is called harassing my minor
daughter. I'm trying to. You're abusing your daughter. You're teaching her lies.
Can you?
You're teaching your daughter lies. Call the cops. Call the cops on me. Hurry up. Call the cops. Hurry up. You gotta harass her.
He's harassing.
I'm trying to inspire your daughter to think.
Minor girl.
I'm trying to inspire your daughter to think with her own head. She has the right to use her own head and exercise her own freedom of thinking. Don't listen to your dad. He's teaching you lies. He's teaching you to abuse animals.
You're not better from the chicken.
I'm not better than the chickens? No. I know I'm not. I never said I was. I never said I was. But that's the thing. I'm here to promote equality and let you know that there's no life that's superior to other life.
Find a life.
Get a life? I have a life right now. Don't you see me? I'm alive and I'm active. I'm doing this. This is my life. I'm crazy? I'm crazy. The one who's filming this is crazy, but the people who are participating in this are not crazy. So I'm crazy for filming it. But you people who say that your sins are going into these chickens, you're the sane ones. You're the rational and logic ones, right? And I'm crazy because I think this doesn't make any sense and I think that it's immoral and it's totally wrong.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
How's everything?
Sorry?
How's everything?
How's everything? It's brutal. Yeah. I mean, the fact that you guys know that these people are breaking all these laws and you're not interfering year after year after year. You know it. They're breaking up to 15 laws over here. And you guys just stand here and you give them these barricades. These barricades say NYPD on them. You gave them these barricades. You're aiding and abetting something that's highly illegal. I was trying to inspire your daughter to use some critical thinking.
That's fine. Like I said,
I'm her parent guardian, and he has no right to harass my daughter.
I was trying to inspire your daughter to use her brain. That's it.
I don't think that's allowed here.
I'm not allowed to inspire your daughter to use her head?
I know, you are not.
I can't. She has to believe everything that you say?
Missionizing to a minor, and you are not allowed to do that.
You're brainwashing a minor. I'm trying to teach her to use her head.
Exactly.
You're brainwashing a minor.
To missionize to a minor.
You're brainwashing a girl with a developing, impressionable mind.
I have an 11-year-old, and he was talking to her and telling her that what her father is doing is wrong. And this is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think you should allow him to do that.
That's what I was doing. I did.
If he doesn't threaten you and
he was harassing my daughter.
No, I wasn't.
He was harassing a minor.
She didn't tell me to stop.
He was harassing.
She didn't tell me to stop. The only one who told me to stop talking was you, the brainwasher. The brainwasher is the only one who told me to stop talking.
That is wrong for him to allow to harass my daughter.
If he doesn't threaten you, touch those chickens.
I'm not talking chickens. I'm talking to I have an 11-year-old.
Your daughter doesn't even believe in this. I can tell.
You may not agree with what
But
he
he
has
can't
to
do it
say.
to a minor.
You got a doctor. Like I said, you may not agree with what he has to say. As
He can tell me, but not a minor.
As long as he doesn't threaten you, touch those chickens, attack you.
So he can do that to an 11-year-old? I do not think
I can try to educate an 11-year-old and try to tell her to use. She doesn't even believe it. I can tell just by looking at her face she doesn't even believe this. She doesn't even believe it.
You want to have Martian chickens and be murderers and kill children.
I don't need animals. I don't need animals.
You hate people.
I don't hate humans. I only hate certain humans.
Look, he claims he don't hate humans. Everybody should look at his shirt.
Yeah, look at my shirt. Look at my shirt. Does my shirt say I hate humans? Does my shirt say I hate humans?
Yes, that's what it says.
No, it doesn't. It says stop having kids, and I wear it everywhere. It says stop having kids, and I wear it everywhere almost every day.
Why do you want me to stop having kids?
I think you can't have kids anymore.
Yeah, that's
Hey! This is a horrible thing to teach children. This is a horrible thing to teach children. What are you doing? You're creating a bunch of desensitized kids. This is completely wrong. This is disgusting. This is child abuse and chicken abuse. You're brainwashing these kids. You're teaching them to not even think for themselves. Look how packed it is.
Okay.
Right now I'm standing in the middle of the street in Brooklyn, New York. This is definitely the last year I'll be coming to this because it's just not going anywhere. And yeah, it just seems like there's going to be more and more people participating in this because they keep having so many kids. More kids means more chickens dying for this ritual. These orange cones you see here were donated by the NYPD, New York Police Department. I can't stress this point enough because it's just so insane to me. This is my camera lens. Look at my camera lens right here. Isn't that nice? And they have garbage cans over there, overflowing with dead chickens. They have a bunch of staff. Staff breaking down the bodies. Look at all these kids. Look at all these kids just watching what's going on. Look at all these kids just watching what's going on, and they don't even care. They don't even care. That's what's so sad. They can just watch what's going on and not even care. Look at all these children here. There's one of many slaughterhouses in the middle of the street in New York City right now, well attended by children and adults, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. And people say there's a vegan world coming. And you know what? You shouldn't even need human protesters here because the chickens are already protesting. They're trying to run away. They're screaming. They're crying out in pain. The chickens are already doing their own protest. But guess what? It goes unheard. Or it doesn't go unheard. They hear it, but they just don't care. They just don't. Now look at this kid. It's like a kid who can't be more than about 14 years old who's working in a slaughterhouse right now. And then look, there's live chickens in here. These live chickens are considered not kosher, so they just fucking let them starve to death in here. Let's get out here. Right now what you see is they're building a makeshift slaughterhouse inside of a dumpster. How long have you lived here while this Kaporos event's been going on?
For the past 11 years. It's been going on longer than that though.
And can you talk about what you've seen here for Kaporos?
What I see are masses of, can I use the religion? Okay, mass amounts of Jews from all over are coming to this one concentrated area to have the necks of the chickens slaughtered.
What have you witnessed them doing to the chickens?
What I witnessed was just either broken necks. I've never seen a neck that was cut. I've seen broken necks, broken wings. I've seen them pick chickens up by the wings and go around, and I've actually heard some of their wings breaking as they're doing it. I was that close to listen to that. And then you also hear the chickens crying out in pain.
And how do the humans participate in this? How do they seem with everything that's going on?
They seem very happy. They seem really excited. It's a great time of year to have whatever the purpose of this event is. So they're smiling, they're laughing, they're giggling. The kids seem to be very excited by it every year.
And has anything ever happened to your property during this event?
Several things. Let's talk about the crowds that we've seen on my stoop. Let's talk about the fact that if it wasn't for me calling my local precinct, I wouldn't have barricades in front of my house, which means that chicken feces are being trapped not only onto our sidewalk but onto our property. I've had, there was one instance a few years ago where they actually walked onto my grass with a chicken and thinking that it was okay to do that. It's not okay to do any of these things.
And you're aware that they're breaking a bunch of laws by doing this?
I'm fully aware. Is the city of New York aware? Is the Brooklyn Borough President's office aware? Are the New York State Police aware? Like, why are the citizens, the non-Jewish citizens of this block, why are we the only ones aware of what's happening?
And what about your neighbors and stuff? How do they react to this?
My neighbors on both sides are not happy about this at all. I'm not sure you can see it, but their house as well as mine is also barricaded. They don't like it either. And one of my neighbors actually goes away almost every year to just avoid this situation because it happens right in front of our door.
And is this street very mixed, like very diverse?
Not at all. I'm one of 5 black families on this block. Everybody else is Jewish.
Okay. And what about the noise and everything too?
This goes on sometimes into the wee hours of the morning. I witnessed 3 years ago the cops actually telling someone, if you pick up another chicken, I'm going to arrest you. And this was at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have to close all of my windows. I want folks to understand how real this is. We have to close our windows so we don't inhale the stench that's coming from dead carcasses of chickens, okay? In addition to that, we have to close our windows because we don't want to hear all of the noise. I have 2 small children that have to go to bed at a certain time because they have to go to school in the morning. My husband and I have to work in the morning. My mother suffers from bronchial asthma. Why are we doing this in front of someone's property? Every year I have contacted my local, can I mention his name? Every year I contact Zellner Myrie. I voted for him because I thought that he was going to change this. We talked about this when he was campaigning. Never happened. This is supposed to be you want to do this, which is inhumane and barbaric anyway, take it away from people who have to live here. Do that in a field somewhere. Don't come here in front of where everybody has to live. We have to inhale it, we have to see it, we have to hear it. Nobody wants to hear this except y'all. Because the folks that actually do buy the chickens, they buy it, they pray with it, and they walk home. I gotta live here. I have to deal with this all night. It's unfair to me. And I'm a citizen, tax-paying citizen at that.
Do you see any kind of end in sight?
If the lawmakers, policymakers, or elected officials can't come here and smell for themselves or see for themselves. I've sent Zellner Myrie's office videotape from my window showing them this madness. No one has said anything to me. I haven't even gotten a response saying, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna look at it, show me your tape, let's sit down and talk. Nothing. I don't know which agency my mom and I have to write to. I don't know how many more phone calls we have to make. I'm not sure how many times I need to be down at someone else's office. I'm not sure how many 311 calls it's gonna take. I have no clue. What do we have to do to get this shut down? And the sad part is, you're breaking the wings of really, really sick birds. You can look on the truck and see how sick the birds are. You're breaking their necks, you're breaking their wings, you're killing them in such an inhumane way, and then you're throwing them in the trash.
And did you know that they're babies too?
No, actually I didn't.
Just for your information, you should be informed that these chickens gave their consent to die before it was brought to them.
They gave their consent to die? Can you explain that?
No, I can't.
Sure, what do you want?
Chickens are a replacement for us if we were meant to die.
You don't need to do either. You don't need to do either. Just there's billions of people who don't do what you do and they keep living their lives. You don't need to do this. Think for yourself.
תעשו עוד זוויות, זה משעמם.
I just witnessed, I carried tonight about 2,900 chickens up here. White pullet babies, the males. And as you can see, they're brutally slaughtering these birds for no reason. And they're wasting a lot of meat. They're wasting a whole freaking bird. And I've never experienced nothing like this before in my life. It's my first time ever doing this. Driving the truck up here. They told me that I was gonna be up here overnight. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what kind of deal was going on. So I just, I came up anyway. And it's just disgusting. It's just really disgusting. And it's like they have so much money up here that the police, and they're getting bonuses, and no one really cares. Even the neighbors have no say in what goes on here. There's a few neighbors out here earlier today, and they were complaining, but there's nothing they could do about it. So the money, it's all about the money if you ask me. I just had enough. I have my truck right here. It's not my truck, but if you see I have the windshield covered, because I can't watch all this all night long. And I had to get out once in a while because it's hot, you know? And as you can see, I'm walking around chicken shit, blood everywhere. It's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just inhumane all the way around.
Do you think we inherently have a right to dominate other animals?
No way, man. Not like this. No way. I mean, they're dominating so many animals, and the males and the females, you know? It's just something else, man. It's nothing I've never seen it before in my life.
Have you ever considered...
It's still alive in the bag, you know what I
mean? Just crying and nobody cares.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey! All right, we got it. Hey! Stay ready, stay ready.
Arrest him. You should get arrested.
Venga.
Now you may.
Yes, finally! I finally get to see one of these people get arrested for once. I finally get to see one of these people get arrested. Finally! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Get out of here!
Yes!
Get out of here!
Yes! You want to...
Ultra-Orthodox, and every year we use chickens. That's just what we did. We didn't really question it. And it was only in the last, I'm going to say 2 or 3 years that I realized that there's another way to do it. You can just do it with a $20 bill, a $10 bill, and I just stopped using chickens. Growing up, I think I didn't even know to question it. It was just like, oh, we use chickens. That's what we do. And now I'm like, why do we don't need to use chickens? It's not like a better thing to do to use chickens. I'm not going to do that.
And so when you use money, what happens with that money?
Oh, I give that money to charity.
And
I just put it in a charity box, and then I just am like, okay, I just spent. You're supposed to do it like the cost of a chicken, which is going to sound weird, but I think they charge $10 or $18, and so I usually do like $20.
And so what was that like when you were doing the chicken?
I think for so long it's just like a part of tradition. You don't really question it. It almost felt like part of the holiday was like doing the Kaporos with the chicken, and I think this is going to sound really weird because you guys probably don't eat chickens, but a big part of the getting ready for Yom Kippur is having a big meal, and they would always serve chicken. And so I was always like, my stomach would be uneasy, and I'm like, I'm eating chicken like the day after I just killed a chicken. And I think growing up I was told that they do donate the chickens to charity. And so, but still, something just wasn't sitting right with me, and so I made the choice for myself a couple years ago to just use money. It's just simpler.
This is what we want. Like, it's a conversation starter. Right. I mean, it's in your face, it's bold, but it's meant to capture attention and ask people to ask questions and have a conversation versus just having assumptions like, oh, that's awful. Like, we're not wearing it because we're just in this community. We wear these shirts everywhere because we think it's an important message for all humans.
But do you agree with he's saying that it has to do with more technology and more of an advance of like, look what's going on around the world, like, more than people?
Like indigenous peoples, right? When they lived with the land, would you say that they were harmful to the land? If anything, they acted the way they lived within the land was kind of beneficial, right?
And I get why you're bringing that up, but we're just so far from that, and I honestly don't see a return to that realistically ever happening. I mean, I'm looking at things as they are right now in the world, and it's not looking good. I mean, it's an unsafe world, first of all, especially as a woman. I mean, 1 in 3 women experience assault, whether it's physical or sexual. That's alarming. Like, I can't walk on a city street by myself at night. That's just asking for trouble. And why would I want to bring somebody into existence when they could be a victim or a perpetrator of this kind of assault? I mean, that's a reality too. Like, people have this idealized view of parenthood that once you have kids, you know, your kids are going to be a lot like you or maybe have the same beliefs, and that's not true. I mean, I don't hardly talk to either of my parents because we have such drastic beliefs on a lot of things. For example, my father, he's racist, he's sexist, he's homophobic, he's many awful things, and I don't want to associate with that. Like, just because he's my blood doesn't mean that I have to keep in contact with him. And, you know, I'm really grateful that I didn't follow in his footsteps, but like, people, when they have kids, they think they're going to have a mini me and that their kids are going to be a lot like them, but they're individuals, you know?
Well, think about this. Like, I don't know the age of your dad, but I'm assuming he's 50s or 60s, right? So obviously we've come a long way from wherever his era was. So we're in essentially probably the most progressive age we've ever been in. So if you look at it like this, right? So you have an opportunity to technically bring an individual into the world that could think like you on some level, because we are more progressive than we were 50 years ago. So you do have an opportunity to change things. You have another individual that could potentially follow in your footsteps, right? And, you know, make other people's lives better. So just that possibility and that potential opportunity, right? Is that something worth considering?
I personally don't think so, because like I said, there's already so many humans in existence that, like, whether if I wanted to have children, I could foster or I could adopt and instill compassion and empathy and things into them and hope that they would spread that in the world as well. I don't need to bring my own blood into this world just to do that. And like, honestly, kids shouldn't be a means to an end. Like, they shouldn't be brought here to like fix problems or have the pressure to make things better. I mean, personally, I'm an activist. I don't do it because I want to. This isn't fun for me. I spent a lot of money to get here. I work for a nonprofit. I don't want to be here. I just feel it's important. So if you want to raise somebody who is very empathetic you're asking them to take on a lot of pain and suffering, because it hurts when you feel the pain and suffering of others. Like for me to hear these chickens crying is extremely painful, because I've met a lot of amazing chickens. I volunteer at chicken sanctuaries. They're incredible beings. They're individuals with their own lives and their friendships and the things they like to do. So yeah, I just think it would be really cruel to bring somebody here when there's so many problems and there's so much pain and suffering in this world.
There's a chicken right there. I'm gonna throw on his sled.
Hey, 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 hey. Let go. Buddy, guys,
Chicken right here.
More.
So what's the deal? I thought these chickens get donated to the port. This is a trash truck right here. Don't you tell people that these chickens get donated to the poor?
No. I don't work here.
Oh, you don't participate in Kaporos?
I don't know. I don't work here.
But do you participate in Kaporos?
Do you believe in abortion?
Do you participate in Kaporos?
You believe in abortion? You believe in abortion?
Why do you
kill babies? You kill babies?
I haven't
You kill babies?
killed a baby, no.
Why do y'all tell people that the chickens get donated when they're all going in the trash truck?
These chickens over here. Later tonight, they're going to be taking these bags inside. You might see them being loaded into the pickup truck. You might see them loaded into this dumpster that they're standing in and all carried away together. And they're going to all be taken apart. They're going to be open. They're going to cut the arms off, the legs off, the head off. They're going to cut the chicken open. They're going to skin it. They're going to salt it and soak it. At that point, after all that is done, the chicken is considered kosher. At which point they're going to be packaged up nicely, and once they're packaged up nicely, they can go up to Asia Hotel. And these are the chickens that they feed to poor people.
Sanctuary in the New Jersey Pinelands. We care for sheep, goats, chickens, turkeys, roosters, ducks, senior dogs, special needs cats, and we pretty much officially started when we had 2 sheep saved from slaughter, and we were looking for a bigger area, so we began to look for properties with enough acreage to kind of stay micro but expand a little as well and give them the space that they needed. So then we bought this property almost exactly a year ago, and we have 5 acres now, but we're going to expand 30 extra acres in the future. So yeah, we save animals from a horrible what would be fate, which is like slaughter, euthanasia. For the chickens here, Kaporos, which is a sacrificial ritual, which is completely ridiculous. We have 4 of them here too. Elrond is one of our roosters, and he was going to be killed because he was a male, not a female. So everyone has a story here, and they were saved from what would have ended their life.
Your most recent rescues were birds from Kaporos, correct?
Yep. Yep.
And what made you want to save chickens from Kaporos?
Well, I've always wanted to, but I never had the space or the funds or support. So this year was different, and now we have enough space for them. And I said I could take 5. Unfortunately, 1 didn't make it 24 hours. So now we have 4 beautiful chickens doing whatever they want to do.
And that was about a month ago. So what were the chickens like back then when you first saw them compared to how they are now?
They kind of just looked filthy. They were distressed. They were afraid of me. Thankfully, we didn't have any leg injuries. Some had like poop on them, and they're just really gross. But I feel like their personality is blooming now because they can just be themselves without being confined, and you know.
They don't seem to be scared of other humans right now at this point.
No, you can't even film them without them getting close to you.
You think they know that they're in like a safe, trusting place now?
100%. They might not know who I am in particular, but they definitely know I bring treats. They come running when I say chickens, you know. So that's what we do it for.
And how is their life different here at a sanctuary versus traditionally where they would be housed at for the whole duration of their life, like a farm?
I'm not positive which farm they came from, so I can only assume that they were in the darkness growing at a rapid rate, crammed together. And then they got transported in crates, and they carry about 15 per small crate at least. But of course, you know, Kaporos, they just shove as many as they can in there, and they're stepping on each other, and they're stressed. They need sun, they need leg room, they need to scratch, and they were denied all of that.
And what would you say are some misconceptions that you think people generally have about chickens?
It's really sad that even people that do love animals, I feel like chickens don't get enough support. I feel like even with rescues, if we say, oh, we really want to rescue a chicken, the amount of support doesn't go as far as someone like maybe a cow. They don't seem as exciting to others, which is really a shame, because they all, you know, we don't have to put colored tags on them. We don't have to distinguish them. Their personalities already shine through 100%, so I know who's who.
Oftentimes people say chickens are dumb.
Yeah, they say just birds in general. And I don't know why. I guess because of that saying, you know, bird brain or whatever people say. And I don't know why. I swear my turkeys, the chickens, they're incredibly intelligent. And even if they weren't, that doesn't mean that you can torture them or kill them or, you know. So right in front of you with the reddest face is Pickles. We did a name game fundraiser. So Pickles was actually one of our volunteer suggestions, and this was named after Tommy Pickles from Rugrats. And then right in front of you is Pika, which Pika is a Latin name for magpie, and the person that put that name suggestion in knew I loved crows and ravens and all of them, so. And Chicory, I believe Chicory is going to be a female. You could see the vast difference in coloring, and they're the same age. Chicory was named from one of the women that donated a bunch of handmade vegan soaps to us. And
what do you say to people who say their food, their meat, their livestock?
I would say that they're absolutely not, and it's honestly at this point in my life, it's really weird that people would see someone like this and be like, oh, yum, because there's nothing about them that would be appetizing. Especially nowadays, there's so many chicken substitutes, I can't even name them. And it doesn't even have to be like the processed soy and all of that. There's oyster mushrooms that could be fried, and they're really good. They'll play out here after breakfast, which is good for exercise. And then right before dinner, they'll all be in here. So they'll be cuddling, have dinner, they digest. I put a piece of watermelon inside so that way they have some fluids, and I tuck them in, so. You see they're pretty bonded. If you've ever wanted to start a sanctuary, and you'll get this advice from anyone that has one, is always volunteer. And volunteer during the hottest days, during the days you don't feel well, during snow, during everything that is extremely uncomfortable. And if you come out of that and you still want to do it, then I would recommend going for it, because there's not enough sanctuaries. You know, in New Jersey alone, there's quite a few, and it's still not enough because there's way more farms, there's way more animals that need homes. So the Cornish cross, it's a shame because a lot of people actually don't want to support the rescue because they feel like it's pointless, because they're just going to die or be suffering or in pain all the time. And where they are prone to leg issues and heart issues and everything like that, they could have great days. So our goal here is to make sure everyone has a good day, and if they need help, we're there to aid them, no matter what it takes. So if they do live, you know, 1 year or 1 day, like one of my chicks I rescued, at least they had a good day in peace and they didn't die in the streets of, you know, New York or wherever. So yeah, you have to keep an eye on parasites. You have to keep an eye on their joints, their breathing, their respiratory. They have to have restricted diets. They can't just have treats all the time. They go wild for food time because they're always hungry and it's sad. So you have to give them enrichment, entertainment. They like straw and like sorting through that, so that's giving them a little bit of exercise. Some of the most challenging things about running the sanctuary, I feel it's way harder than people think. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and yes, it's physical. Yes, I'm out here during every type of weather. But it's also that constant anxiety and that trauma of me checking the cameras all the time and like making sure everyone's fine, or what if I did come out and a chicken just passed away because of their breed, and you never know how you're gonna wake up if something were to happen. The most fulfilling parts would have to be just seeing them live their best life to me. I love watching them shine through, not just in how they look physically, but just their personality is beaming afterwards. So I love seeing that transformation, spending time with them. You don't have to say anything and they just get it. You don't have to have this obligated conversation and be a certain way, smell a certain way. They just appreciate you for being kind to them. I can't even remember ever saying I want a kid. That was just always me. I can't see myself caring for my own kid. I can't see myself pregnant. And I'm totally fine with that.
Then it opens up this opportunity where you can care for so much more life that's already here.
Definitely. And all the money that would have to go into a child, I put them out for the animals too. So yeah, I really can't imagine having a kid in this point in time or 10 years ago, whichever. And I also think sometimes that if I had a kid, say 10 years ago, and they said, I'm never gonna be vegan, or they grew up to be a hunter, I feel like it would be an ultimate betrayal. And that could very well happen. It could happen to anyone, even if you raise your infant vegan. You can't control them throughout their whole life. So.